Hello guys, welcome to the video lecture. In this video lecture I am going to teach you the development of lateral surfaces of the truncated pyramid and truncated prism. So if we coming to the problem number 5. Yes, in the previous video lectures, that means development of lateral surfaces of different types of object, we have completed in two parts. In the part 1 we have completed first two problems. In the part 2 we have finished the third problem and fourth problem. And similarly in this particular video lecture I am going to cover fifth problem and sixth problem. If we coming to the problem number 5, it is a pentagonal pyramid, side of base 30 mm and height 55 mm, stands with base on horizontal plane. That means axis is perpendicular to the horizontal plane. So when the axis is perpendicular to the horizontal plane, we are able to see the true shape in the top view. That means below the reference line we will get the true shape of that particular plane surface, and an edge of the base parallel to VP, such that we have to keep one of the base edges parallel to the reference line while we are constructing the top view. Yeah, that is related to the position of the object with respect to the horizontal plane and vertical plane. So if we coming to this particular point, this is related to the part 1. As I said that we have to complete part 1 with H pencil, because that is related to the orthographic projections of the solid. And next, if we coming to the second part, that is related to the sectioning. It is cut by a plane perpendicular to the VP, and remember this point, it is perpendicular to the VP and inclined at 40 degrees to the HP and passing through a point on the axis 35 mm above the base. So this is about sections of solids. So we can say this is part 2. So we have to complete this part also with HB pencil. And final one, that is related to the development of lateral surfaces of the remaining portion of the object. So initially we can complete orthographic projections according to the conditions up to this particular point, and next we can cut that particular object according to these conditions, sectioning conditions, perpendicular to the VP, inclined at 40 degrees to the HP and passing through a point on the axis 35 mm above the base. So later we can develop that particular object. So in the first step, let us see the description, let us see the position of the object with respect to the horizontal plane and vertical plane. So if we coming to this particular object, this is a pentagonal pyramid. So according to the given condition, object is located on the horizontal plane. That means in the top view we are able to see the true shape, such that we have to keep one edge parallel to the vertical plane. So while we are constructing the pentagon, we have to kept this one parallel to the reference line. Then we can complete the pentagon. Then connect every corner with this center of the pentagon, so that we can see slant edges of the pentagon. So in this way I am going to construct the orthographic projections of the pentagonal pyramid. So already we know how to construct the projections of the pyramid. We have seen in the third unit projections of solids. So according to that one, I can construct the projections of the pentagonal pyramid. So if we coming to the projections, initially we can keep this edge parallel to the reference line, then complete the pentagon, then join every corner with the center of the pentagon, so that we will be getting true shape of the pentagonal pyramid or top view of the pentagonal pyramid. Then we can give the dimension. Then after that we can give the naming A, B, C, D, E base points, and P, that is the apex, topmost point of the pyramid. Then after that we can project every point onto the reference line. Initially project every point onto the reference line. Then if we observe this middle projector, this one is representing projector of B, similarly projector of P, that is representing axis. So we can extend this particular projector upwards, depends on the axis dimension, that is 55 mm. So after projecting this one 55 mm above the reference line, we can mark a point, that is apex point P dash. Then after that we can connect every point with the apex. And one more thing here, axis and edge both are coinciding, so that we have to give the preference to the edge. And while we are looking the object from this particular position, here E and D points are invisible, so we should connect E and D points with P by means of dotted line. So this is about orthographic projections of the pentagonal pyramid according to the given conditions. So next step, part 1 is completed. Next step, we have to move to the part 2, that is related to the sectioning. Okay, if we coming to the part 2 sectioning, here the main condition is sectional plane position perpendicular to the VP. So when the plane is perpendicular to the VP, we are able to see that sectional plane as a line in the front view. That means initially we should complete sectional front view. And one more condition, it is inclined 40 degrees to the HP. So we should keep that sectional plane 40 degrees to the horizontal plane. And the sectional plane is passing through a point on the axis 35 mm above the base. So according to these conditions, I can construct the sectional plane in the front view. Yes, if we coming to the sectioning, here sectional plane is passing through a point on the axis that is 35 mm above the base. That is why here I have marked a point 35 mm above the base. Above the base, that is this particular point. Then from that particular point, here I can construct a 2H line that is horizontally. And next immediately we can construct 40 degrees line, 40 degrees to this particular line, this horizontal line. So this is the sectional plane position in the front view. It will be visible as a line. That is why here we have drawn the sectional plane in the front view. And next step, this below the sectional plane position, that is whatever the portion is there below the sectional plane, that is remaining portion, and this one is removable portion. So we can construct the development of lateral surfaces of the pentagonal pyramid for this particular portion. And before constructing the development of lateral surface of this particular portion, initially with the help of 2H or H pencil, we can develop the entire pentagonal pyramid. So we can do that particular one. And one more thing, if we coming to the pentagonal pyramid, it has only one base. There is no top surface, so we can follow radial line development. So as I said that if we coming to the radial line development, we need a point that is called center. Similarly, we need radius. So we can take topmost point, that is apex point, as center, and always we should take true length of this slant edge dimension as radius. So which one is giving true length of this slant edge? Here no edge is here. If we observe 5 lines, these 5 lines are representing slant edges. So out of these 5 slant edges, which one gives true length of this slant edge? No edge can give true length of this slant edge, because in the top view all edges are inclined to the reference line. So in that particular case, we have to keep one of these slant edges parallel to the reference line, then rotate the same dimension and project this particular point onto the reference line. I have explained this particular condition in the problem number 3, that is square pyramid development. So similar to that problem, here I am going to rotate this particular dimension. That means here I can construct horizontal line from point P, then rotate CP onto the horizontal line. So I can do the same procedure. Yes, if you observe this one, here from point P I have drawn locus line, that means the line which is parallel to the reference line. And next immediately here I have rotated CP dimension to meet locus of P, that means horizontal line. Then I have marked K here, rotate CP to meet horizontal line, then mark a point, that is K, and immediately project that point onto the reference line. So K becomes K1 dash. So I can say this is K1 becomes K1 dash, and if we join K1 dash with P dash, that line can give true length of this slant edge. So here P dash to K1 dash line, this thin line, this outer line can give true length of this slant edge. Why this one is giving true length of this slant edge? Because here PK1, that is horizontally, that means drawn, and similarly this line is parallel to the reference line. That means when this line is parallel to the vertical plane, so whatever the projection is there in the vertical plane, that line can give true length of this slant edge. So that is what I have done here. So here P dash K1 dash, that is the true length of this slant edge. Similarly we can take center, that is the apex point. So for that purpose I can construct the locus line from P dash. If we observe these two lines, this one and this one both are parallel to each other. That means I have taken true length of this slant edge dimension for the purpose of development, and similarly this particular point, that is the apex point. So I can say this point is capital P and this one is capital A. Then we can take AP dimension as radius, P as center, draw an arc with any curvature. So in this way we can construct the arc, AP dimension as radius, P as center, draw an arc. And next step we can take true length of the base edge dimension as radius, that is 30 mm, and A as center, draw an arc. So here after the arc construction has been completed, we have to take this base edge dimension as radius, that is 30 mm, and point A center, draw an arc here. So we will get B, and next B take B point as center, then same dimension 30 mm dimension as radius, so that we will get C. And similarly C point as center, same 30 mm dimension as radius, draw an arc, that is D. And D as center, same dimension as radius, draw an arc, so that we will get E. And E as center, same 30 mm dimension as radius, we can construct one more arc, so that we will get, here it is not F, this one is A, because last point and first point both are same in the development. So here we will get A. Then next step, join AB, BC, CD, E, DE and AE with H pencil or 2H, whatever. In this way we can join all the points in the correct sequence with HB pencil, because there is no cutting portion in the base. That is why directly I have joined all the points with HB pencil. If there is some cutting portion in the base, initially we should join the points with HR to H pencil, because actually here there is no cutting portion. That is why I have joined all the points with HB pencil in the correct sequence. Then join all the points with apex, that means point P, with 2H pencil. Don't use HB, because we have some cutting portion in every slant edge. That is why use 2H pencil properly while joining these points with point P. Yes, in this way we can connect every base particular point with the point P with H pencil or 2H pencil in this way. Then we have to give this is about development of simple pentagonal pyramid, but we have to show the cutting points in this particular portion also. So for that purpose, here we can give the cutting points, naming of cutting points. That means cutting point on AB, that is 1 dash. Similarly cutting point on BP, that is 2 dash, and cutting point on CP, that is 3 dash, and cutting point on DP, that is 4 dash. Actually it is located on the invisible line, that is why here we should keep 4 dash also within the braces. Similarly here this point is 5 dash, which is located on EP. This one is invisible, that is why here we can keep this point within the braces. And next step, we have to mark these points in this particular diagram, and for that purpose here these edges are not true slant edges. That is why we should project every point, we should construct locus lines from each and every point to meet the true length of the slant edge. So here I can show that one. Yes, if you observe the locus lines, the first locus line, that is representing 3, I can say this is 3, and second locus line is representing 4 within the braces, and third line is representing 2, third locus line, and this locus line is representing 5, and here this one is representing 1. Actually if we come into the 1, that is related to the AP is available at 2 points, first one and last one. So directly here we can mark, this is we can take P to 1 dimension as radius, draw an arc on the AP line. So here no need to construct another arc, because already we have point 1 on the AP. So this is 1 point, and similarly we can take AP 1 to P dimension as radius, because 1 is located on the AP, and P as center, draw an arc on the AP line. So here we will get point 1. This one is 1, and again this one also our actual point. And next one, that is 2, which is located on EP. So we can take the dimension from 2 to P dimension as radius, P as center, draw an arc on the E slant edge, EP slant edge, because phi is located on EP, and similarly 2 is located on BP. So we can take 2 to phi to P dimension as radius, P as center, draw an arc on EP, not this one. And next step, 2 to P dimension as radius, P as center, draw an arc on BP, because point 2 is located on here, point 2 is located on BP. And next 4 to P dimension as radius, P as center, draw an arc on DP. So fourth point is located on DP, that is why here we should construct that arc. And next 3 to P dimension as radius, P as center, draw an arc on CP. So finally we got points, we can give the naming. This is 1, this one also 1, and on BP we have 2, CP we have 3, and on DP we have 4, EP we have 5. So in this way we got the points. Then finally join these all points in the correct sequence with HB pencil. 1 5 5 4 4 3 3 2 2 1. Yes, in this way we can join all the points in the correct sequence, and next we can connect 1 to A, 2 to B, 3 to C, 4 to D, 5 to E, and 1 to A. Yes, finally in this way we can connect the all points in the correct sequence. So I can say this is the development of the lateral surface of the truncated pyramid, that means remaining portion of the pyramid. And in the problem, suppose we have the question related to the draw the sectional top view and sectional front view. So that time we have to complete the sectional top view also. We have completed this topic in the previous part, that means sections of solids, part 1 of the unit number 4. We have completed that one in that particular classes in the offline. That is why here I am not explaining this particular portion. And I can say this is problem number 5, it is not 3. So remember this point, this is problem number 5. So this is about development of the lateral surfaces of the truncated pyramid. Now let us move to the next problem number 5. This is problem number 5. Next let us move to the problem number 6. We can see final view of the truncated pyramid development. So here remember this one, this line and this line both are parallel to each other. And if you coming to the problem number 6, yes, here we can see problem number 6. A hexagonal prism, edge of base 20 mm and axis 50 mm long, resting with its base on HP. Again object is located in the horizontal plane, that means in the top view we will get the true shape of the hexagonal plane, such that one of its rectangular faces is parallel to VP. One of its rectangular faces is parallel to VP means we have to keep one of the base edges parallel to the reference line in the top view. Up to this particular point, this is related to the orthographic projections. We have to complete this particular portion with H or 2H pencil. It is cut by a plane perpendicular to VP, inclined at 45 degrees to HP, and passing through the top right corner of the prism. So this is the condition for cutting the object. So initially we can complete the projections of hexagonal prism according to the given conditions, and remember the dimensions 20 mm base edge, 50 mm long. So we can complete the projections initially. Yes, if we coming to the orthographic projections of the hexagonal prism, when the object is located in the horizontal plane such that one of the rectangular faces parallel to the reference line, that means in the top view we have to keep one edge parallel to the reference line. So we have to construct the top view of the hexagonal prism in this way, keeping one edge parallel to the reference line, that is indicating one of the rectangular faces parallel to the VP. And we can give the naming, top surface naming A, B, C, D, E, F, and similarly give A1, B1, C1, D1, E1, F1 base points, and keep all the points within the braces, because these base points are invisible in the top view. And immediately project every point onto the reference line and extend all the projectors 50 mm above the reference line. Then we will get the front view of the hexagonal prism in this way. and for every object or for every solid we must show the axis by means of connecting two corners, opposite corners. We will get the intersection of two lines, so that intersection point becomes center of the hexagon. Then if we project this point, we will get the axis one. So up to this particular point, that is related to the orthographic projections of hexagonal prism. Then next we can move to the development of the simple hexagonal prism. Simple hexagonal prism. And if we coming to the prism, top surface base both are parallel to each other, so we can follow parallel line development method. So simple parallel line development means from the top surface we can construct locus line. Similarly from the base we can construct another locus line, and if we observe both locus lines, both are parallel to each other. Yes, in this way we can construct two lines parallel to each other. And next we know development of prism, that is available in the rectangular shape. What are the dimensions of the rectangle? Length of the rectangle becomes side into side dimension into number of sides. That means 6 sides into 20 mm. So that is 120 mm, that is the length of the rectangular layout. And what about breadth? That is equal to axis dimension. So with the 120 by 50 mm. So these are the dimensions of the development of the hexagonal prism layout. So here we can leave minimum 1 centimeter, then construct HR2H line. So I can say this is the starting point, and from this particular point here I can mark 120 mm. So this is 120, and we can construct 120 by 55 mm, 120 by 50 mm rectangle, and immediately we can give the naming AA1, and this is the remaining rectangle. And we have 6 rectangular faces in the hexagonal prism, so we should divide this 120 mm into 6 equal parts, and every part is representing 20 mm, that is base edge dimension after dividing the rectangle. So in this way we will get the divisions. Then immediately we can give the naming B1, C1, D1, E1, F1 and A1, that is related to the base naming. And similarly we can give A, B, C, D, E and A, E, F, A, that is related to the top surface. Yes, this is about development of simple rectangular prism, but our object is truncated prism. That means we have to cut this particular diagram according to the given conditions. So we can see the conditions for cutting this particular object. It is cut by a plane perpendicular to VP. So when the sectional plane is perpendicular to VP, that will be visible as a line in the front view. That means in the above the reference line portion, that means in the vertical plane, we will be getting the sectional plane as a line. So we are going to complete sectional front view initially, such that here sectional plane is 45 degrees inclined to the HP and passing through the top right corner. Remember this point, 45 degrees inclined to HP passing through the top right corner of the prism. So we can construct the sectional plane as a line in the front view following these conditions and passing through the top right corner. So according to the given conditions we can cut the object. So here sectional plane, initially we should fix the drafter with 45 degrees inclination, and passing through this particular corner, that means top right corner, we can construct the line. This line is 45 degrees inclined to the base or horizontal plane and passing through this particular point. So that is the given condition in the problem. So according to the given conditions I have drawn, and remaining portion with HB pencil we can construct the diagram, and we can give the cutting points naming A1 cutting point, that is 1. So it is front view, so we can give 1 dash, and B1 cutting point is 2 dash, C1 cutting point is 3 dash, D1 cutting point is 4 dash, and D dash both are located at same place because sectional plane is passing through the corner. And E1 cutting point, that is 5 dash. Actually E dash is invisible one, that is why we can keep this one also within the braces. And the next FF1 cutting point, that is 6 dash, this one also invisible, so we can keep point 6 dash within the braces. And next we can project every point into the development layout, so that we will get 1 2 3 4 5 6 points in this particular layout. In the next step, from the cutting points we can draw the locus lines. For example, here 1 is located on AA1. So we can draw the locus lines from 1 to intersect AA1 line, because 1 is located on AA1. So draw the locus line to intersect this AA1, similarly this AA1. So here we can give the naming. This is point number 1, this one also point number 1. And next we can draw the locus line from 2 and 6 both are located at same place, and 2 is belongs to BB1, 6 is belongs to FF1. So we can draw the locus line to intersect these particular lines, that means BB1 and FF1. 2 is belongs to BB1, so on BB1 we can mark point 2. Similarly 6 is belongs to FF1, on FF1 we can mark 6. And if we come into this particular point here, 3 5 both are located at same place. 3 is belongs to CC1, 5 is belongs to GE1. So the intersection of this locus line, similarly CC1 edge, the particular point becomes 3. Similarly 5 is belongs to GE1, so that here we can mark 5. And if you observe this point here, 4 and D both are located at same place, so directly here I can mark point 4. And in the next step, join 1 to 2, 2 to 3, 3 to 4, 4 to 5, 5 to 6, 6 to 1 by means of straight lines with HB pencil. So if we coming to these lines here, these are representing top surface of the hexagonal prism, and if you coming to the lettering line, that is representing base of the hexagonal prism. And by means of connecting 1A, 2B, 3C, 4D, 5E, 6F and 1A, we will get the remaining edges according to the front view of the first orthographic projections. So now join all the points in the correct sequence by means of straight lines with HB pencil. So after connecting all the points, top surface points with base points, we will get the development of lateral surfaces of the hexagonal prism layout in this way. So this is representing development of lateral surfaces of the truncated prism, that means remaining after cutting remaining portion of the object. So here at the end of the problem we must show the dimensions. Here this is 6 into side, 6 sides are available, 6 into 20 mm, that is 120 mm, and here rectangle height, that means breadth is equal 50 mm. So 120 by 50, that is the rectangle layout dimension. So this is the final view of this particular diagram. In the next video lecture, we can complete 2 more problems related to the cylinder and cone. Thank you. Thanks for watching this video. If you have any doubts about this particular 2 problems, you can ask me in the comment section. Thank you. Thanks for watching this video.